Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Today is going to be a mini. I'm going to look at sort of the fallout um, connected to the Hur Report that came out, basically calling Biden a feeble old man with no memory. And I want to take a look at the impact of that, what sort of some of the waves are that are going around it. That's what this is about. Before I get started, if you receive an invoice from me, from Soulprint, asking for payment, please report it. Okay. It's not me. I don't ever ask anybody for a payment and I don't send out invoices. So should that happen, please, report it, delete it, get rid of it, block it, whatever you need to do. I'm not sure. It just started. And so I'm not sure how extensive it may or may not be, but understand I just don't do that. Okay. I'm just not organized to send invoices yet. All right. Thank you all very, very much for being here. Okay. So I'm going to channel this. It flows much more easily when I'm kind of drilling down on something like that. So, Spirit, what's going on there? What's going to happen? How is this going to be handled? How is this going to be resolved, etc.? All right. So the first thing they're saying is that, in fact, Merrick Garland is going to take a lot of blowback. And he's already getting some because, now that we're getting sort of closer to crunch time, people are saying, what the hell was he doing for that first year? He should have had a special counsel appointed long before, and then we wouldn't be having this sort of time crunch problem we have where every time we turn around, Trump's trying to run out the clock. He is starting, I think, to realize that he really is not the right personality for that position at this time. Okay. He is one of those people who is incredibly, incredibly cautious. And so everything he does is sort of colored by, I have to look like I am completely nonpartisan. I can't look like I'm taking sides. Like I have to look, as neutral as possible. The reality is, so he's just getting himself into trouble because it's not neutral as much as he just looks sort of a little bit weak. So don't be surprised. Certainly in the second Biden term, I completely anticipate that he will step down and be replaced by somebody who is more aggressive. All right. This is something I want you all just to think about. Everybody is like, okay, we've got to get rid of Trump, get rid of Trump. All our problems will be gone. All our problems will not be gone because you still have the mega Republicans in the Republican Party. And it's going to take a couple of years to sort of weed some of them out. Just getting rid, the House, getting rid of the ones in the House is going to be easier. Senate, not so much. They're in there for 6 years. So you're still going to need somebody, America's top lawyer, being really quite firm and quite aggressive and quite, no, we're doing it this way and I've spoken and that's the way it is. So that's going on there. All right. The Hur Report, it couldn't have been redacted because then everybody would have been saying, oh, it's been covered up. It goes out unredacted. And it really is a hit job on Biden. So a couple of things you're going to see, and you're already starting to see it in the media. So that's what they're saying about Biden. Here, let me show you 52 different film clips of Trudeau and his gaffes and not knowing where he is and what war it is and what country it is and what people they are. Let's do that. So that has already started. It's going to continue. Also, don't be surprised if you see some select Democrats sort of surging to the forefront and really going on the defense almost on behalf of Biden. See, the thing is, that it's really okay and it's frankly good to see Biden angry, right? Who the hell is he to ask me a question like that, right? That's good. But you don't want to see him like attacking. There will be other Democrats who are going to take on that role. As the days and the weeks and the months roll on, you're going to see, there might be one or two now, a few months, there might be three, four, etc. So that's going to be actually part of the strategy to push back against, some of the Republicans' dirty tricks. It's long been said that Democrats, keep bringing a knife to a gunfight, right? And it's important that Democrats become a little bit more aggressive, not stoop to their level, because frankly, if you get into the mud and roll around with somebody in the mud, you just both end up muddy. You need somebody who is not afraid to take a shot, but is also not stooping so low that they're going below where a low where nobody even expected it could go that low. So expect that. It's important that it's like surrogates or proxies that are going to come out and they're going to really be the one sort of drumming the beat, or beating the drum, sorry, on some of the stuff that's coming out of the Republican group. When it comes right down to it, there is so much more damaging evidence of Biden's strength versus Trump's inability to speak cognitively, rationally, intelligently, all of the above plus 100 more things. So make no mistake, Biden took a hit over this, but it wasn't an insurmountable one, because you're going to start seeing when these arrows get flung, you really are going to start seeing some significant pushback coming from the Democrats. And so that's a really good thing because, the Republicans it seemed they just never tire of rolling in the mud. If it's not, Biden's son, then it is, the Secretary of, what is that, Homeland Security? The guy with the border, and they keep trying to impeach him. So they're not going to stop. They're just going to keep on rolling and rolling. And in a way, as aggravating as it is to us and as frustrated as it makes us, it's a really good thing because Republicans that are sort of fall into that normal category are looking at this and going, what the hell are you doing? Johnson's didn't bring that really good plan to the floor so they could vote on it. That would have actually really helped the border. No, he didn't want to do that because Trump said not to. There's going to be more of that kind of stuff going on. And the Republicans are actually going to start getting like pushback from that. The ones who are really staunch, like, the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Matt Gaetz, like that, they are going to find themselves in a place where people are tuning them out, like just not listening to it, not hearing it. It's like sort of the way we all feel about Trump, right? It's like, oh my God, I just don't want to hear his voice anymore. That kind of an energy. Now, you're probably not going to like me saying this, but I need to say it. We are approaching, we're not there quite yet, but by, May, June, we really are approaching that time, that space where we all are going to need to pay more attention to what is going on, what is being said, who's saying it, etc. The reason for this is simple. You know, the old adage, right? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. We can't afford to take our eye off of what Trump is doing and what the Republicans are doing to help Trump, because there's too much at risk. And as you move into that late spring, summer, moving into fall, that is where Americans who are really done with this are going to need to start really pushing against their reps, whether it's their House reps or their senators, whatever it is, to say your behavior is not acceptable. I don't like this. You're not getting my vote. Whatever it is. You can't do that if you're not paying attention. Now, listen, I am not for a second suggesting that everybody immerse themselves in crazy 24/7, but you're going to kind of need to find a bit of a balance where, you're watching an hour of news and then 2 hours of sitcoms to balance, your endorphins or something. But, that's part of helping this democracy survive. Things don't ever happen in a vacuum. And it needs to be acknowledged that there were lessons to be learned, wisdoms to be gained. Everyone is being affected by this because there is something to realize. And I believe that part of what needed to be realized is that citizens of a country actually need to pay attention to what their government is doing. For a really, really long time, there has sort of been this, okay, well, every 4 years or whatever it is, I'm going to go out and I'm going to vote, and probably just going to vote for the party I always vote for. I'm not really sure who the guy is or the gal is. I really don't even know what they want or what they mean. But I'm going to vote because, or even worse, I'm just not going to vote because I don't understand politics, and it doesn't matter if I vote. And what happened is exactly what you see. It's your country. And every citizen of every country that is, a democracy needs to pay closer attention to what is going on in those government offices. And it's not only federal, right? It is provincial, it is state, it is city, it is town, it is county. And it's just sort of important that we all start wrapping our head around that understanding, because for too long, too many weren't paying attention. And because they weren't paying attention, politicians were really, really able to kind of do stuff and get away with stuff that, they sort of knew if people were paying attention, they'd get in big trouble for. But what was happening was the people who actually were paying attention did not have a loud enough voice. And everybody else was, doing what they're doing. They're living their life. And I'm not saying that we all shouldn't get to live our life. We absolutely should. But one of the things that we have learned is that when you have someone representing you, it's important that you don't hand over the reins, right? That you don't just say, okay, well, I voted for you. Now it's your job. Just do what you need to do. It's sort of the same logic of hiring like a contractor, like a building contractor, to come in and do a massive renovation on your house. And saying, okay, good. This is sort of what I want. I hired you. I'm going to go on vacation for a couple of months. When I come back, I want you to do what I wanted done. So you're going to come back to a disaster. You're going to come back to something that is not complete. You're going to come back to overruns and all kinds of stuff that went on because you weren't paying attention. And I'm not criticizing contractors out there. You get my message. It's the same thing. When you hand somebody your proxy, your power, your authority, you cannot just walk away. That is the lesson that not only Americans are learning, but the global community is learning. Um, you know, and I'm just going to use this as another example. Putin marched into Crimea and everybody went, this is terrible. But then they really didn't do anything, or they did a minimum amount to sort of help Ukraine, right? And they kind of let Putin just stay there and do what he was doing. Well, meanwhile, Ukraine is like fighting like crazy, trying to get these guys out of there. They don't have the manpower, they don't have the equipment, etc. So what happened? People weren't paying attention, and Putin went, yay! And he attacked the entire country. That's what happens when we don't pay attention. So it's time to clean off our glass lenses, take our vitamins, start to focus, and understand this above all else. You're here witnessing what you're witnessing because you individually and collectively have the power to make the changes that need to be made from the wisdom gained from the experience. Don't lose sight of that. That's the message. Until next time, take care and be well. Bye-bye.